take a look at how your project is supposed to work. And what I've done is I've made it an exe here. It's called discountcomputerparts.exe. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click on it, and it's going to bring it up as an exe. And there's a number of things that you should notice. Over here it says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Those are your 10 choices. These are the 10 different computer parts that you can put in. And these are put in based on the define statements, as you'll see in the project documentation. So these can be easily changed by just changing the define statements. These names should change. Now it says up here Dave's Discount Computers. You can say Bob's or Sally's, whatever your name is. And these are also defined. You'll find these in the define statements as well. These are the prices, the actual 100% prices of these items here. You'll also find this in the define statements. The percentage discounts: 15.0, 12.0, 33.3, 9.5%. Excuse me. These are all the discount percentages. And the way you do this is like 15% of this is not this number. It's 1 minus, or 100% minus 15%, or 85% of this is this number. So you have to do a little bit of calculations. But what's going to happen is if, for instance, I press an A, you'll notice that this 1 has changed from 0, and 1 times 74.97 gives you 74.7. It adds all the numbers in this total column to get this number here, adds a PST to that, the GST to that, adds these numbers to get the total that's here. Now, let's just say, for instance, that I screwed up and I shouldn't have done A. I can hit a minus sign, and down at the bottom here it says item to decrease, and if I hit A, it should decrease that back to 0, so my total cost at this point is 0. One other thing your program should do is when I type minus and type A again, or anything that's got a 0, it should not decrease it to make it negative. So this number 0 times this gives us this, 0 times this gives us this. So if I type A, B, D, for instance, that's 1 times this is this number, 1 times this is this number, 1 times this is this number. We add all these numbers together. That becomes our subtotal, calculates our PST, GST, and finally does our total for this order. Now if I hit R for reset, it puts everything back to zeros again. Now that's fine with these fixed discounts. Now, as I said, this is defined, this is defined, this is defined. But what I'm doing in the program here is I'm loading all of these define statements for the discounts into local variables so I can manipulate them. So if I happen to hit O, and it says item to override, I can override any of these discount prices here by typing in the letter. For instance, let's try 15%, so I'm going to type A, and it says what is the new percentage. Instead of 15%, it allows me 0% up to 99%, and that's what your program should do, 0 to 99%. So if I put 0, because I don't like the guy that came in, he was giving me a hard time, so he's going to pay full price. So notice it says 0 times this, a 0% discount gives me 87.97, so every time I hit A, he pays full price. Now if I hit R for reset, it should reset all of these back. What it's really doing is reloading from the define statements into the local variables all the default values. So at any time I should be able to do, say, A, B, D, and say, okay, well, you know, there's a fairly big price there. Let's give you, instead of 5.5%, let's override, and we're overriding that one, which is D. And let's give him a 50% discount on that instead of a 5.5. And look at, he saved so much money, and there is the price that he's going to pay. So this is how your program should work. So you should be able to select A through J, which increments this number, which multiplies all these, adds these together to get all this stuff. The R for reset should reset for the next customer. R for reset should reset these back to the default discount values, and also reinitialize all these numbers to 0. And the minus should allow you to then subtract 1 from these, but not go below 0. And finally, the X should exit from the program. And that's how your program should work. Now, it should check for all these various inputs and so on, and check everything properly. As I said, if you hit K, it should say error if you type something that's not on the list, so it should only respond to A through J, as it says here, O for override, uppercase or lowercase for all of these, little r, big R, a dash, lowercase or uppercase X. And that's how the program should work. If you have any questions, please ask me in class.